Be no doubt, losing a loved one is always difficult. At O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, we strive to meet your emotional needs with compassion, kindness, and understanding. The caring staff at O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home recognizes the importance of celebrating a life that was lived with dignity, respect, and professionalism, serving local families in their special time of need for generations. O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, Rapid City. Phone 343-0077 or visit osimschmidt.com.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is love for the game.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship, and most of those are worth far less than the cost of tuition. So, why do they play?
My reason why is commitment.
My reason why is friendship.
A sense of purpose, love for the game, to help others, friendship. There are lots of great reasons to play high school sports and to participate in other high school activities like cheerleading, debate, and music. Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports!
And here's what you need to know.
The Fall Classic starts tonight. Game 1 of the World Series in Houston between the Braves and Astros is on Fox. Coverage beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern time. First pitch just after 8 o'clock Eastern. Charlie Morton goes for Atlanta. Framber Valdez goes for Houston. The Athletic says that the San Diego Padres have interviewed Ozzie Guillen for their managerial vacancy. Green Bay Packers wide receiver Alan Lazard was placed on the reserve COVID list and won't play on Thursday against Arizona. The NFL Network says Lazard is unvaccinated and must be out at least 5 days because he came in close contact with a person who did test positive for COVID-19. NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sill says 94.1% of NFL players are vaccinated. Giants have placed safety Jabril Peppers on IR with a torn ACL. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin completely shot down rumors today he'd be interested in leaving the Steelers job for a college job. Lakers forward LeBron James questionable for tonight's game against the Spurs.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Well, good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome in. It's always a great day in the Black Hills, and we're back ready to go. 2 hours thought-provoking sports talk. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Thanks for checking in. I hope you're having a good day. The Nate Brown Show is on, and it's brought to you by the Rehab Doctors, the non-operative experts in the Black Hills. When it comes to an injury or a pain you have, see the expert team, the Rehab Doctors, the pain relief experts without surgery. Okay, see the Rehab Doctors, Dr. Vondro, Dr. Dietrich, Dr. Lawler, and the team. Visit therehabdoctors.com for pain relief without surgery. Therehabdoctors.com, the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush. The Nate Brown Show back on a Tuesday, and we've got you covered here. Game 1 of the World Series. Are you ready? Are you ready for Game 1 of the World Series tonight on Fox? Braves, Astros. We'll discuss it with Travis Sawchik. He's covering it. We've got him tonight, Major League Baseball writer. The Score. We had him on for the first time last week. Really good. Said, hey, Travis, let's try and get a Game 1 preview here, see who he's going to pick. We had Tracy Ringlesby on yesterday. Of course, Tracy, a longtime member of the Rockies broadcast team. Tracy picked the Astros yesterday in 6. You know Tracy, good guy. He loves Dusty Baker. He goes Astros in 6. We'll have Travis Sawchik on, lead Major League Baseball writer. The Score, he's on tap. Got to go get an update from Scott Byrd today, the Rapid City Rush head coach. He drops by on a Tuesday. The Rush are 1-1. They won their home opener. They lost on Saturday in a tight one. How did the Rush feel after 1 week in? And now they go to Idaho. By the way, that's the old team of Scott Byrd, our new head coach here, the Rush head man. His old team is Idaho. They play the Steelheads this weekend out there in Boise. Scott Byrd, head coach of the Rush, on a Tuesday here on the program. Into the NFL with Eric Eager, drops by PFF. He said, Nate, man, I missed it last night, so he's in tonight. We got you, Eric. Eric Eager, Pro Football Focus NFL analyst. Craig Maddock, live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Little East River, West River matchup for us tonight. And Kevin Figures is live from L.A., Fox Sports Radio host, and AM 570 Los Angeles. We'll talk USC and that job. How would you compare USC college football to LSU? The question I have, which is the real better job there? Kevin Figures, AM 570 Los Angeles. I might get into a question about the Dodgers too. Just his perspective. Kevin Figures on tap. A busy Tuesday show. Let's get you on tonight. 720-1067, the Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar Sports Line Live. Brought to you by the new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar. If you haven't hit it, sports fans, the same great food at Boss Pizza and Chicken, now with the great sports bar atmosphere and drinks. It's all there. North La Crosse, brand new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar. 720-1067. Hit us up there. The Barron's Wilson text line always ready for you. Direct text the show. We'll get your comments out there. 720-1067. That's also how you can be a part of the question of the day, which I'm going to start with some baseball today. I mean, I know a lot of shows, all of a sudden the World Series is here, and then a lot of shows are, okay, we got to discuss a little baseball. And I know sometimes baseball gets a little boring for some people, this and that. We talk baseball from the start of the season all the way through the end, and so we're going to start the show with Major League Baseball and a couple of things I want to discuss with this World Series matchup. A couple of things that jump out to me. So it's Astros-Braves tonight, game 1. I don't know. I'll make my prediction coming up here. I'm leaning Astros, just leaning Astros with their offensive firepower. It just feels like they have the edge, so we'll get to that. But a couple of things jump out. So everybody tells me this day and age in Major League Baseball that analytics rule the day. Analytics not only rule the day in Major League Baseball, they rule the day in all sports if you want to have success. Basketball has turned into a three-point contest because that's how you win games. And so I'm not necessarily going to argue with some of the strategies of analytics. I'm not going to throw out data like some doofus. Okay, I'm not just going to disregard data, because you can't disregard it, but something tells me in 2021, especially in the sport of baseball, in baseball itself, where we just make this move, make that move, we put together this lineup, and we have different folks that are looking at spreadsheets. Now, I don't know exactly how they do it, but we got the different folks, some of the folks maybe that aren't even plugged in on some of the nuances of sport or the game. They're looking at spreadsheets. They're looking at numbers and percentages and lefties, righties, strikeout rates, okay, the whole thing, how cold it's going to be at night, how this hitter hits when it's 70 degrees, when it's 90 degrees, and the whole mess, and you just get going on spreadsheets, and then sometimes you wonder, does that always work, or does it work most of the time? And you're going to say, Nate, that's why they use analytics, because it works, So let me just throw out this for you. Meaning, I don't know if analytics is the answer to having a success. If you follow the analytics rule, you're going to get to the World Series. Just look at the Astros. Well, let's look at them. Let's look at them. You know what people have told me in baseball these days? Strikeouts don't matter. Have you heard that? You've heard that a little bit, meaning everybody's striking out. The strikeout rates are through the roof because people are swinging for big hits. They're swinging for the big hits, right? Home runs, triples, doubles. And so if you strike out, it is what it is. You don't have to hit for singles and the whole thing. Guess which team leads Major League Baseball in strikeout rate being the lowest? Okay? Lowest strikeout rate in baseball since 2017. Which team is it? It's the Astros. So they don't strike out. Guess which team leads baseball in batting average? Now, that's not looking at homers. That's not looking at the big hits. Batting average. Which team leads Major League Baseball the last 4 years? The Houston Astros. Something tells me we like saying this, we like looking at this. The Astros have the lowest strikeout rate, so they're not striking out like everybody, and their batting average is the lead in Major League Baseball the last 4 years. So something's not connecting here. It can't be an all analytics world or not. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Right on. It's called death by data. It's very similar to death by PowerPoint in business. Like, you look at a presentation, and if there's a million things on a slide, it's just your brain melts. So, like,
I got you.
There's that kind of thing where you're talking about the people with the spreadsheets, and, like, there's too many variables. So at some point, somebody, hopefully the manager of a team, can take a step back and be like, all right, whoa, wait a minute. Like, we need to, like, think about common sense for once. And
kind of, like, the feel of the game, the feel of his players, right?
Yeah, like morale is not captured in a spreadsheet. Like, somebody who's just not up to the task, like if somebody's really raring to go or if somebody just doesn't have it, you look them in the eye and you're like, hey, this guy's not ready. Like, don't put him out there. I was watching the game with it was the Dodgers pitcher that they sent out. He was a reliever, and the first 8 pitches he threw were outside, and he hit a guy. And it was like, that guy was no way ready to come into the game.
Yes.
So, like, you got to have some sort of common sense, too. Like, you can't have too many variables.
Does baseball have too much analytics? That's my point. It feels that way.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, yeah.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. Good to hear from you. McJudgerson in early on a Tuesday, and I think he's right. The choice is, it has to be somewhere in the middle, as they say, right? It has to be somewhere in the middle. I think baseball has leaned into the analytics here, and so as we start the World Series, we're supposed to be, okay, how are the lineups designed? Do they let Dusty Baker choose it tonight, or is it a room full of analytics folks that kind of say, and they look, okay, let's see here. Charlie Morton, so we're going to go this. Doesn't it come down to sometimes who can perform in pressure situations? What do the analytics show there? What do the analytics show there? Because I'm telling you, a lot of this baseball analytics, they say, here's the way the game's being played. It's home runs, it's long balls, it's driving in runs that way. The Houston Astros have been pretty good last time I checked, and I know we have this 2017 garbage can problem, okay? But you look at it, another World Series appearance, they have led the league in batting average. Imagine that. People don't think batting average is too important anymore. They've led the league in batting average and the lowest strikeout rate over the last 4 years. The Houston Astros, something's going right there. I'm not saying they don't use analytics, but I'm telling you, that throws that whole concept. You got to hit home runs. You got to hit the long ball and the whole thing. I want to ask you a question of the day here. Question of the day. I want to know this. Where do you stand on analytics in Major League Baseball? Where do you stand on it? It's smart. You just have to use them more times than not. Or managers need more power. I want to know where you stand on it. 720-1067, the Barons-Wilson text line, a good way to get in. Votes coming in. Where do you stand on the heavy use of analytics in Major League Baseball? Used to not have them, right? We used to just send Jack Morris out there because he was mowing down hitters. Complete game, boom, Twins win, end of story. Jack Morris would have been taken out a long time ago. He would have been taken out a long time ago, and who would have known what may have happened with the Twins? Who would have known? And that's just an example. Just one of those primetime examples that Twins fans should be able to connect with, baseball fans should be able to connect with. Where do you stand on the heavy use of analytics in Major League Baseball? I'm kind of one of these guys. Pressure-packed scenarios, gamers, those types of guys that have that's not going to show up in the analytics matchup. You know, well, we got a lefty against a lefty. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Okay, we got a lefty against a righty. Oh, this is a big problem. A big problem. You know, it's one of those things you got to think through a little bit. We all of a sudden give up a hit. Okay, now it's the third time through the lineup for this pitcher. He's mowed down everybody. He walked a guy. Maybe he gave up a hit, and he is gone. And he is gone. And how many times have you seen it backfire? Maybe the St. Louis Cardinals could tell you about it. They were rolling. They put in a different pitcher. Dodgers win. Homer in the bottom of the ninth. End of the story. There's many of those examples out there. I think the analytics takes over the game. And by the way, this was just thrown out about the Yankees. This was thrown out about the Yankees. That they have 20 guys that talked to Brian Cashman, the GM. They have 20 guys, and they look at all the numbers. Then they send down the lineup and the whole plan to Aaron Boone, the manager of the game. The manager's power is basically gone. Let's get some votes here. Let's update it. Where do you stand on the heavy use of analytics, Major League Baseball? You have to use them more times than not. It's the smart route, or the managers need some power here. 55% say you have to use them more times than not. 55% of you say you have to use them. 45% want to give the managers more power. It is a tough one for me a little bit because I'm not going to throw out all the data. Okay, I know I like talking about the good old days and the Jack Morrises and you know the whole thing, but that's a real example. There will be no more Jack Morrises. Essentially, you get into a little bit of trouble, or you get into a third time through the lineup, and you're gone. And I think it takes away the intensity. The guys that want to get it done and stay in and tell you, I can get this done. You know how the pitcher would tell the manager, leave me in here, I'm going to get this done, okay? That's gone. It's gone. That competitiveness is gone the analytics route. I think it hurts teams sometimes. I do. I don't have all the examples where it helps teams. It must help them a lot because we got a lot of analytics. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hi, Nate. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's your take?
I hate these analytics. Absolutely hate it. I think part of the reason viewership is down, I think these games are lasting so long because they change pitchers so often. You know, what happened to leaving a starter in? I mean, they go so much by pitch count anymore.
Pitch count, batters, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, they don't care about strikeouts. I know a couple guys that are old-time scouts that got out of baseball because they're basically told, you know, if a guy doesn't throw in 95 plus or in the low 90s, we don't even want to look at him. So there's no emphasis on control anymore. It seems like it's all power pitching. You know,
no more Greg Maddux, no more Tom Glavine. No.
Bob Gibson, Don Drysdale, those guys, Jack Morris. You know, they let those guys go 6, 7, 8, 9. Now they said, I think I heard today, the average pitcher, the starting pitcher throws 12 outs, and then he's out.
That seems like a low number. I don't know if that's right or not, but it could be. It could be when it comes to an average.
Earlier,
yeah,
I heard it earlier on your station. So
okay, well,
one of the guys was talking about that. I think that's why the games run so much longer. We're changing pitchers. We go by.
I think it can hurt. Yeah, I think it hurts the experience. I do.
Yeah, I think guys don't. There's not much hit and run anymore. Not much bunting anymore. It's all go for the long ball, get a runner on, and try for the double or triple or home run. We don't have any, Tony Gwynn's anymore or any Pete Rose type hitters. It's all about, strike out or get a double or a home run.
I figure this. You pay the manager, Kay, and he's supposed to know the team, know his players, know the situation. I think we got to give him some power back. I think these guys have hardly any power.
Why have an experienced manager anymore? If you go by analytics, you don't need a guy that's been managing for a long time.
And you are seeing that trend too. Now you're seeing, well, this guy doesn't need experience. We just need a guy that manages people. That's kind of what it is. Yeah. Thanks for getting in. I appreciate it. That's kind of been the trend. He talked about that. Managers, Tony La Russa comes in with the White Sox. That was an anomaly. That's rare. Okay, Tony La Russa, old school. A lot of the teams now are just going to go, oh, there's this guy here. He manages people well, knows players, and can get along and make sure everything runs smoothly. That's the guy. Managerial experience doesn't matter too much. I mean, even case in point, Rocco Baldelli, Twins. I mean, he had not hardly any experience, Rocco Baldelli, Twins, but did a pretty solid job there the first couple of years. I won't go there this year, but did a pretty solid job managing people, and it just comes down the line. Is that the case? You got 20 people in a room now sending down the lineup, sending down the game plan, even though games change as it goes on. That's what we love about sports. It's unpredictable. Are you trying to tell me we have everything lined up? If this happens, you should do this. If this happens, do this. That was thrown around about the Yankees, for example. That was from A-Rod. A-Rod said, throwing it around. The folks that look at all the numbers, they just send it down to Aaron Boone, and here's what you should do. Listener text coming into the Astros. The Astros, one of those things I was trying to tell you, that's where the analytics don't play out. Everybody says homers count. That's what you need. They have led the league in batting average, and strikeouts, not that big a deal. They have the lowest strikeout rate over the last 4 years. So you tell me. Listener text on the Astros. Nate, maybe they're still cheating. Anybody listening for garbage cans? Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not going there. By the way, that's another storyline. I said, biggest storyline tonight, Game 1 of the World Series. I said this last night. It's the Houston Astros. If they get this done, will we recognize this really is just an unbelievable lineup? Some of the same players, some different, but a really, really solid run. Will it take away some of the sting and some of that edge that we didn't like about 2017? I think it will. You're always going to have people, they cheating, and they're probably cheating still. Not for me. I think for me, it's going to take away my negativity or my heavy negativity of that 2017 problem. If they get it done here, and by the way, they've been getting it done on a regular basis over the last 5 years. Listener text, the number crunchers have too much power in baseball. The managers of a team have no say in daily lineups or when to pull a pitcher. And that's part of the problem. That's part of the issue. It'll be really interesting to see. Just watch it. So, Major League Baseball World Series had a really low rating last year, the COVID year. It was all messed up. Will baseball bounce back with this World Series? Will they bounce back with this World Series? I think it's going to bounce a little bit. The postseason ratings so far have been unbelievable. They were up 95% on TBS. Just this past year, up 95% from the COVID year, up 21% from 2019, the postseason on TBS. So some people think they're going to bounce into the World Series. You're going to see a pretty big climb here in ratings. We'll see. I'm not so sure about the matchup. I don't know. The lowest ratings for a World Series was last year. We had a really low one in 2019 as well. So the last couple of years have been rough as far as World Series ratings. And now you got Braves, Astros. Will that bring some folks in, some pretty big numbers? We shall see. And it's all a part of this narrative. Is baseball bouncing back, or does baseball still have that narrative? It has too many analytics. It's too slow. You can't engage. It's over 4 hours. What could be the story coming out here, Braves Astros. I'm excited about it because I want to see what the Astros are able to get done here. I'm not rooting for them. I can't go there. But I want to see what will happen. Okay. All right. I want to let's update that. Let's update that poll. Too many analytics in baseball. What do you think? You have to use them? It's just the smart route? Or managers need more power? Still holding 55% saying it's the smart route to go. It's the smart route to go. All right. This is the last run here, by the way, for Major League Baseball. You're going to have a problem, I think, coming up in December. The old CBA, Collective Bargaining Agreement. So baseball fans, eat it up this week. World Series, I'm going to enjoy it. Braves, Astros, I'm engaged with it. I wasn't as engaged last year either. We were going crazy. And so I'm going to enjoy it. I think we got a little problem looming here coming up for Major League Baseball, the owners and the players. What a drama to play out. Travis Sawchik's on the way. So I'm going to get into a lot of this. Major League Baseball writer, The Score. He's covering Game 1 tonight, Houston, Atlanta. I'm going to get into a lot of this scenario from the baseball side. Analytics, too much or not? Travis Sawchik on the way.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. The Nate Brown Show on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Renewal by Andersen. The time is now. Winter is coming, beautiful but brutal. You don't have to live through another winter with drafty windows and high heating bills. At Renewal by Andersen, we have great financing options with approved credit right now. Our certified full-time installers are the best in the industry, not subcontractors. We're a 5-star energy partner. Renewal by Andersen windows can significantly cut your heating bills. Put that blanket away this winter. Let's talk about your windows today. Renewal by Andersen. Winter is coming. The time is now.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Hey, it's football season and Cadillac Jacks is ready with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, teaming up with Cadillac Jacks, and they're now taking live bets. Have some fun in Deadwood and hit Cadillac Jacks for a college football Saturday or an NFL Sunday. Sports betting has come to Deadwood, and the official sports betting partner of Fox Sports Rapid City is Cadillac Jacks and BetMGM. Remember to sign up for sports betting at CadillacJacksGaming.com and receive free Cadillac cash.
Hi, this is Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance. We are currently accepting new patients in need of physical therapy, and we want to show you the Elevate difference. At Elevate Performance, you have our guarantee of receiving one-on-one, high-quality care with a doctor of physical therapy. At Elevate, it's personal, and we are ready to be your partner in empowering you to live a healthy life pain-free. Remember, you have a choice for physical therapy in Rapid City, and we want you to experience the Elevate difference. We are currently accepting new patients. Just visit elevateperformancesd.com.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love the unique ways other countries compliment their chefs. In France, they say magnifique. In Italy, delizioso. And in many parts of the world, it's a compliment to belch. Don't try that at home, kids. But at Pizza Ranch, we keep hearing the same thing over and over again when guests bite into our pizza. Mmm. Our famous chicken. Mmm. And all the favorites on our buffet. Mmm. We're beginning to think you're all trying to tell us something. We'll take that as a compliment. Pizza Ranch. Mmm.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for spending some time here on a Tuesday, jam-packed show. Game 1 of the World Series. We got to get to it. Game 1 of the World Series tonight. Let's enjoy it while we can. Baseball has a little bit of a issue coming up with the owners and the players, the CBA, and a little work stoppage potentially. We want to keep this guy working. He does good work. Travis Sawchik, Major League Baseball writer, The Score, thescore.com. Find him on Twitter at Travis_Sawchik. Let's talk World Series here on the Nate Brown Show. Travis, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Great to be with you. I'm doing well.
I appreciate your time. So I've got a question for you here. We saw big ratings so far in the postseason. A lot of interest. TBS up, FS1 up. Good ratings for the postseason. What are we going to see for this World Series matchup? We've had 2 low ones the last 2 years. 2020 was the lowest ever. 2019, one of the top 5 lowest. What are we going to see from interest here?
Yeah, these. I mean, on one hand, you have a pretty good villain in the Houston Astros, who are not very popular outside of their hometown. So maybe people will tune in to hope to see the Braves topple them. But ideally, I'm sure the commissioner's office would love to see a New York or LA team or Boston team in the series, but they don't have that. So it'll be interesting. You also have a Game 5 that lines up with when a lot of people will be trick-or-treating on Sunday night. So, we'll see. I mean, if the ratings have been pretty solid throughout the postseason, maybe they'll continue. It's a good one. I don't have a good answer for you other than not the worst markets, but not New York, not LA.
I've got a question of the day for you, and I wanted to dig into Major League Baseball. Where do we stand on the heavy use of analytics? There's a lot of teams that have really leaned in, and you can tell me maybe it's everybody that's leaned in, but the Astros have been called, well, they're an analytics team. But here's the deal. They hit some long balls and they hit some homers, but they've led Major League Baseball in batting average last 4 years. And they have the lowest strikeout rate. And I've always told Travis, well, it doesn't matter if you strike out anymore. The Astros had the lowest strikeout rate. So I'm telling you, what analytics here matter? How much are teams leaning into this?
Yeah, I don't. Strikeouts have sort of been accepted, I guess, with the assumption there's a power trade-off in modern baseball, and the analytics say that a ball in the air is worth a lot more than a ball on the ground. So I think, and that's just a matter of fact. Throughout baseball history, a ball in the air, a line drive is more valuable than a ground ball. But I think it's a bit of a misconception. Like, the Astros have been one of the most analytically forward teams in baseball, and unfortunately, the cheating scandal overshadowed the database gains and made them player development throughout their system. And one of the things they did was they targeted contact hitters in trades and free agency, and they also focused on developing contact skills and zone discipline in the minor leagues. They were charting batter swing decisions throughout the minor leagues and grading them and how often they chased out the zone and how often they didn't. They hired all these unorthodox coaches from outside of pro baseball to work with their minor leaguers, whether Russ Steinhorn was plucked out of a Division III school because one of the Astros front office people had read a Sports Illustrated Faces in the Crowd piece on how Delaware State was leading college baseball on base percentage, and they found out that Russ Steinhorn had all these unorthodox teaching methods. So, yes, the Astros are very analytically forward, but they believed in getting on base, whether it's through walks or batting average, and they tried to acquire and teach the skill. And the other thing is, if you are a good hitter, that's the best skill set to build upon. You can add power to that in today's game, whether it's through a juiced ball or whether it's just through improving your launch angle. I mean, look at Jose Ramirez or Francisco Lindor or Justin Turner or Jose Altuve, all these smaller guys who are good hitters first, added power later. And I think we've seen the Astros do that because they're not just a good batting average team, as you point out. And a common thread throughout their whole run is they've had the lowest strikeout rates in baseball, but they've also added power to that skill set. And I do think it's that K rate that's been their secret advantage all throughout throughout this run. They just they rarely have bad at bats. They battle you 1 through 9 through that lineup, and they don't give away at bats, and it's really brutal to face as an opponent.
Travis Sawchik, Major League Baseball writer, thescore.com, here on the Nate Brown Show, talking World Series, Braves, Astros. So what do you say to folks that say, okay, who should make the lineup decisions, the pitching decisions? The 20 guys in the analytics department send down the lineup, or do the managers need to get back some power here?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I think more and more it's a partnership. Like we're generally seeing, I think managers work more closely with the front office and ownership groups are hiring managers who are more in line with, kind of from the top to the bottom, more vertically integrated in thought process and belief system. And I think generally the lineup cards we see, the manager in the front office probably have some agreement on what that should look like. But there's still a huge psychological component to the sport. Look at Tyler Matzik. He was out of baseball for 5 years, basically, because he couldn't throw strikes, and he finally overcame that psychological hurdle. So there's still a huge psychological component, and I do think it's impossible to measure, but I do think there's a value in the manager understanding what a player's going through conversation, through what he sees, that sort of thing. So it's tough to measure, but there's still a value in that.
I believe that, too.
I think...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a balance between the two, between the analytics, between the psychology and understanding that. And some managers, I think, do that better than others. But yeah, to your point, maybe it's become too analytical heavy. I don't know, but the best teams in the postseason tend to be some of the most progressive on the analytics perspective, and it is such a probability percentage sport. I do think it makes sense.
Okay, that's interesting, because I say ultimately analytics is information. It's information, and then it's what does the manager or I guess team do with that information, because it is important information. You have to use it, but I don't think it can be maybe the end-all be-all, as every game is different. Every matchup can be different, especially in baseball. Let me ask you, Astros, Braves, I talked to you about how's the intrigue there. Who do you think has the edge?
Yeah, I like the Astros in part because of what you mentioned about the strikeout rate, and I think they're averaging over 6 runs per game right now in the postseason. So they're so tough. You look at what Yordan Alvarez is doing, and just up and down that lineup. There's very few easy outs, and I just think they're going to wear down the Braves as they get through. And the Braves have very good pitchers, but I think they're not quite as they're not going to be able to weather this lineup. So I think the Astros will win in 6 games, and I just think it's a special lineup. I think they're the only team this year with a sub 20% strikeout rate, and they put the ball in play. They test you. They make pitchers work, and I think that'll be the edge.
Why does everybody? It's so interesting. Some people are going to be rooting against the Astros. I get that. I get why. I'm not rooting for them myself. But if they win this time, some people are saying, "Well, this is a mini dynasty." Travis, you're talking about multiple World Series titles here in a short time frame. Will this take away some of the negativity from 2017's cloud?
I don't know about. It'll add legitimacy to just the overall body of work that they've done. It won't take away the tarnish off 2017, but it will kind of reinforce the idea that this has been a very good team, arguably the best offensive team in baseball over the last 4 or 5 seasons. And cheating or not, they were very good. And unfortunately for the Astros, they really sullied their reputation. And they might have won the 2017 World Series without banging on trash cans because they were that good. And I think it's a lesson to everyone that reputations are so fragile, and going for a shortcut, it's just generally not worth it, because I don't even think they needed to. I don't think they got a ton of benefit out of that. They're basically the same offensive team as they were then. With presumably they're not cheating. So yeah, I think there's a lesson in there for everyone. And to your point, I think no one will forget the scandal, but I think it'll it'll just show that this is a legitimately great team, and I do think they should have been punished. I think it's unfortunate for the sport that no players were punished out of that. The commissioner's office set no precedent that if you steal signs electronically and you can just kind of get off with only a public rebuke. So that to me is a little disappointing out of all of it, but the Astros are a legitimately great offensive team.
Let me ask you, Travis Sawchik, I'll let him run, Major League Baseball writer, The Score. People may not root for the Astros, but it feels like people are rooting for Dusty Baker. Why? Why do we want to see Dusty win?
People, baseball lifer, he loves the game, and he's been around forever, and I think he's generally made good relationships in the game. So I think it was probably a smart PR decision to hire Dusty Baker, because it seems like it's difficult for people to dislike him.
Yeah. I like Dusty. I'm a Cubs guy. Tactical. I love Dusty.
Yeah. I mean, that was a smart decision. Put the person that no one can hate to be the leadership chair in the field. So yeah, that was a smart tactical decision. And,
I do believe people are kind of rooting. It's the Astros, but I like Dusty. So a little balance.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like the Braves aren't outside of the Southeast. I don't know that the Braves are have much of a national following or a beloved team either. So that's another thing too. But yeah, to your point, Dusty does seem to have a fan base.
Travis Sawchik, thescore.com, covers Major League Baseball and the World Series Game 1 tonight. Find him on Twitter. Follow him at Travis_Sawchik. Always great to have you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Travis Sawchik, good guy to talk baseball with, Major League Baseball writer, thescore.com. Find his work there. Really, really solid. Knows the game in and out. Covered it a long time. Thescore.com. Travis Sawchik here on the Nate Brown Show. That is interesting. I can't root against Dusty, so am I going to feel okay? Dusty, my guy. I mean, he was with my Cubbies there. I loved Dusty back in the day. And I just saw this number, speaking of analytics. Dusty Baker will have played or managed in 2.5% of Major League Baseball games. Total. Is that right? I got to find that. I got to find if that's correct. Dusty Baker will have played or managed in 2.5% of all Major League Baseball games. That doesn't feel right, but I better confirm that. I don't want to be spreading any false rumors here. The Nate Brown Show live, going to Kevin Figures. He's out in Los Angeles. What are we going to talk about? AM 570 LA. That's who he's with. USC football. What's the better job, you guys? What's the better job? USC or LSU? I got into an argument today with one of my unpaid production staff. Unpaid. They help produce the show, kind of. LSU or USC? What's the real story? Kevin Figures on that. And a little bit of a Los Angeles Lakers situation, too. Okay, hang on.
You're listening to the Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
Pour 54 downtown Rapid City is my new place to hang out. Whether it's happy hour after work, date night with your wife, or meeting up with some buddies and watching the game, Pour 54 has it all. 54 taps with great beer from local and regional breweries, wine and hard seltzer, plus some awesome food. Pour 54 is the place. Watch the game in the sports area upstairs, or drop by Wednesday nights for live music and Wind Down Wednesday. You gotta hit it. Pour 54 downtown Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker in Rapid City. If you considered selling your current home,
Let me take you to that next step with confidence. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I have been in the business of attracting buyers for 15 years. Let's make it happen. Contact me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates, at your service, at your side, with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
I'm with Ryan from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, and I know you got some great specials right now.
Get an Arctic Start remote start system, which we feel are the best in the business, from just $279. From the Ultra Simple with a range of 1,000 feet to LCD remotes that have a range of 1 mile.
Really? 1 mile away?
Really. And with our drone mobile unit, your smartphone will start your car from anywhere on the planet.
Man, that's incredible.
And right now, save up to $40 on a set of Toyo Celsius tires, what we believe to be the best tire for our area. It's a year-round winter tire, and it's an amazing tire for South Dakota.
So you get a winter performance tire and you can leave it on all year long?
You got it. These stop over 30 feet shorter in the winter weather than a typical all-season radial. Stop in or call, and we'll go over all of the remote start and Toyo tire options available, and we'll do it with the best prices in the area.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, the #1 place to trust for everything automotive. AnytimeAnytime.com or at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Hey, Rapid City, it's Doug Gottlieb. Join me weekdays from 1 to 4 right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports, Rapid City. And now let's get you back to the Nate Brown Show, Rapid City's sports talk show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. Your sports, your show. We are rolling on a Tuesday. A lot to cover tonight. We'll talk to Eric Eager coming up, NFL analyst, Pro Football Focus. The guys at PFF drop by. Eric Eager on the way. Question of the day: where do you stand on the heavy use of analytics in Major League Baseball these days? Smart, you have to use them more times than not, or the managers need a lot more power. 53% of you saying you're smart if you use them. You got to use the analytics. End of story. 53% using analytics, 47% giving managers more power. You know, trying to get that gut feeling, trying to get that relationship, who's going to step up in big spots. I believe that matters in sports. It's the pressure stuff, right? When the big game's on the line, are you riding the pine or are you in? Okay, I think the analytics don't capture that. I really, really don't. I don't want to throw them away, but I think they're so heavy in Major League Baseball now, it's just out of control. Kevin Figures, let's get him. You hear him on Fox Sports Radio. He's also on AM 570 Los Angeles, AM 570 LA. They cover it all. Dodgers, Lakers, Kings, USC. Let's talk about it all. Kevin Figures back on. Kevin, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm great, Nate. It's always a pleasure. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. So let me ask you about baseball first. I'll just go there first. How bad is L.A. rooting against the Astros tonight? Is it still heated out there with the Astros?
It is as heated as you can imagine. The hate watch is fully on at this point in time. The Dodger fans went from, just a couple of days ago hating the Braves to now, doing the tomahawk chop themselves. It's gotten to that point. And there's obviously added incentive. Jock Peterson was a Dodger favorite, and now he's a postseason hero for the Braves. So the Dodger fans will love nothing more than to see Jock give it to the Braves, Jock give it to the Astros, and the Astros get another loss. Because one thing the Dodger fans don't want is the Astros to actually win a World Series, so then they can always come back and say, 2017 wasn't a fluke. It doesn't matter if we were cheating or not. We were good enough to win. One thing the Dodger fans can always hold over the Astros' head is, you haven't won a World Series since you were banging on trash cans and videotaping people's hand signals.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, what happened to the Dodgers here? I mean, things went south. A great team, 106 wins. They made it all the way to the NLCS, got through the Giants, the whole thing. What went south here?
I hate to make excuses and talk about injuries, but, part of baseball, making it through 162 games and into the playoffs, is just making it through that attrition. By the time the postseason rolled around, the Dodgers had 3 starting pitchers. You didn't expect Clayton Kershaw to have forearm issues his last start of the regular season and be a scratch. That was a huge loss. You didn't expect Max Muncy to get his arm almost, taken off on a play at first base the last game of the regular season. They're dealing with a lot of adversity and a lot of injuries, and I think ultimately ended up catching up with them. And I think it's a testament to how deep and how good they actually are as an organization that they were able to win 106 games, knowing all the issues they had this season. Cody Bellinger, couldn't hit anything.
Right.
He hit under 200 the majority of the season before he finally heated up in the playoffs. Mookie Betts had injuries all season long. They had a lot of things working against them, and even with that, I will consider the season, I won't call the season a success because the expectation was for a championship, and they didn't get that. But considering where they were at the end of the regular season, for them to get to where they got to is pretty darn impressive considering the things that they went through. They were within one win of forcing a Game 7 of the NLCS and possibly making it back to the World Series.
Kevin Figures in the L.A. market, AM 570 L.A.'s on Fox Sports Radio as well. He's here on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. So you're at L.A. I said this World Series did lose a little juice without it being the Dodgers. Baseball postseason ratings are really, really high right now. How much juice is out of this thing with the Braves Astros?
There's a lot. Obviously, locally speaking, in Los Angeles, you don't have the vested interest in watching the Dodgers. I think the hate watching of the Astros will only go so far. And then just nationally speaking, because you have that built-in storyline of 2017 Dodgers versus Astros, it definitely loses a little bit of its luster. If you're a baseball purist and a baseball fan, and you're a fan of the sport like myself, you'll obviously watch. But yeah, you want those ancillary storylines to draw in the casual viewer.
Yes.
And it just doesn't really have that juice attached to it, unfortunately, this year.
Okay, so you're a baseball fan, Kevin. Too many analytics in the game or not? This is my question of the day, basically. I believe there is. I believe they just go over the top and don't factor in game day atmosphere and intensity of certain players and the whole thing. What do you say?
I agree, and there's a healthy balance in there somewhere without going so far one direction or the other. Now, I realize where the sport is, and I think the over-reliance on analytics, is a big reason for the success of many of these teams. You talk about the Dodgers. Andrew Friedman is their president of baseball operations. He came from Tampa Bay. The final 4 teams that were competing for the World Series all had guys who were Andrew Friedman with the Dodgers or Andrew Friedman disciples. Anthopoulos from Atlanta was with the Dodgers a couple of years ago before taking that Atlanta job. Quick in Houston, Andrew Friedman guy. Farhan Zaidi was the general manager of the Dodgers under Andrew Friedman before going to the San Francisco Giants. It goes on and on and on. So that's kind of the direction the game is going in. If it were me, honestly, Nate, there was talk about them changing the rules and not having teams being able to shift as much. I wouldn't be opposed to that. You're basically taking an entire element of baseball out of the game. There's no such thing as a line drive hitter anymore. Everybody's swinging for the fences because basically just making contact and hitting a ground ball to the left or the right side is an automatic out because the analytics are so far advanced. It's impossible for guys to get hits anymore.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, the baseball purist, I think there's a way that you could find a happy medium to keep analytics as part of the game because I think it's a smart way to play, but without making it affect the product so much that it becomes at times unwatchable because these guys are either hitting home runs or striking out at alarming rates.
Kevin Figures, AM 570 Los Angeles. Let's get into this. USC's looking for a coach, and it's going to heat up now, Kevin. LSU's also in this mix. So it's USC, LSU. And I've asked one of my buddies here, I said, which is the better job? Which is the better job? You tell me where USC is at when it comes to football hierarchy here. And is that the job a coach would choose if LSU's looking at him too?
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at it. So you asked about as far as the better job. I look at it as where can I win? And it sounds bad, I guess, but the path to least resistance to getting to the national championship and getting to a higher level is at USC. Because the strongest team at the West Coast right now is Oregon, and they are certainly not with their flaws at this point. So you have the opportunity to come to USC, a school that recruits itself. They've had their share of bumps, obviously, under Clay Helton these last few years, but they're going to get talent. You just need to have the right coach who can come in and be able to cultivate it and play the right way. And if you do that, USC is always, if you want to call it a sleeping giant, I mean, they are the face of the Pac-12. You know, and whereas compared to LSU, Nick Saban's not going anywhere for another couple of years. You have other programs. Georgia is not going anywhere anytime soon. So if you want to use the iron sharpens iron approach and say, I want to take the LSU job because I feel like I want to take Saban head on and I can beat him at his own game, more power to you. But if you want to say, like, I want to come to a place where I know I have a guaranteed built-in way to be able to succeed with my own staff, do it on the West Coast, and have an easier road to reaching national prominence quicker, I think you have that at USC. So maybe it's just a matter of preference, Nate. I don't know if one is necessarily better than the other, but the path at LSU to success is definitely much more difficult than the path to success at USC.
Okay, USC has fallen off the radar here. You know that, Kevin. So where does USC rank? Back in the day of Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, that was the show. I mean, it was up there. And you guys got a lot of stuff going on in L.A. So where's USC at in the hierarchy? Lakers, Dodgers, Rams. I mean, the list goes. I mean, they got to be down a ways, no?
They are down significantly. You know, this is a city, as you mentioned, Nate, that has so much going on, and it's almost like it's a battle between these teams to compete with each other. You know, the Lakers go out and trade for Anthony Davis, and the Dodgers go out and get Mookie Betts, and the Clippers go out and get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Everybody's trying to keep up with each other because everybody's fighting for relevancy. There is so much to do. There's only so many eyeballs. There's only so many things you can do or pay attention to at once. USC, at that time in the early 2000s, 2003, 2004, ruled the city of Los Angeles. I mean, people were watching them more than they were watching the Lakers, and the Lakers were good at the time. This is Kobe, Shaq, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. They were going to the NBA Finals, and USC oftentimes would lead telecasts. That's how great and how dominant they were. And that's how they could be, and that's part of the sleeping giant I was talking about. USC is good. Fewer things of LA are as big as USC football, but they've been so bad or so irrelevant for so long. You know, they're losing ground to the Dodgers, who have been consistently great for the last 9 years. The Lakers, who have won a championship, are on the comeback trail at this point in time. It's tough sledding for USC, but they can get it back, and they can get it back relatively quickly if they can turn it around and find the right coach.
Interesting. So they can get back in the mix in that big market. AM 570 LA, that's where he's at. Fox Sports Radio's Kevin Figures here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Kevin, always great. One quick one. I think the Lakers are in trouble, okay, Kevin? I'm sorry to tell you. I think they're in trouble. That's just me, little Nate Brown in Rapid City, South Dakota. I watch the Lakers. They're in trouble.
Yeah, it's not just you, Nate. Trust me. There are certain people in Los Angeles who are freaking out as well. I will also say it's 3 games into the season. It's not going to be an easy adjustment period, especially for someone like Westbrook, who has played only one way for 12 years. We'll see what happens. When we chat again, hopefully before the month of April or May, we'll see where the Lakers are at that point in time. But I'm not worried as of yet. We still got a long ways to go there, Nate.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you quicker than that, like Christmas time, okay? Let's make sure we do that. We got to see where the Lakers are at quicker than that. Kevin, always great. Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure, Nate. Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Kevin Figures live from L.A. He's on AM 570 Los Angeles, AM 570 L.A. They cover all the teams. Fox Sports Radio's Kevin Figures. What would you do if you were a coach? You're the highly touted coach. You are the guy. You get your choice. Let's say you're James Franklin. Is James going to have his choice? I don't know. He had a bad press conference today, the Penn State head coach. But is James going to get his choice? USC or LSU? What are you going to choose? Okay. USC, private school. They are not, I don't think, too worried about the budget. I think they've worked through this, like athletic academic cheating scandal and, the whole thing. So I would say USC is in better position. Money-wise, non-competitive in the Pac-12, meaning that's not too hard to get on top of the Pac-12, I don't think. Okay? I really believe that. Now, here's a couple of the other things where USC's tough. The facilities are not as good. LSU's invested like you wouldn't believe. Facilities, unbelievable. Unbelievable. LSU, top tier. I mean top tier facilities, that whole thing. Cost of living, LSU, this kind of gets overlooked. You need assistant coaches. You need to bring in some of the best of the best. Cost of living a little better in LSU. Cost of living USC, that is a grinder. You think the housing market around here is tough. That is a grinder. Well, you get paid a lot. Yeah, you need to. You'll be living in a one-room apartment. So there's factors there that you look at. I still believe I'm going to put USC as the better chance for success. I'm going to put USC as the better chance for success. And the other factor I put in there, all of the California players are leaving. You should look at this. I've looked at this. High school recruits. You looked at how high they're rated, okay? California has a boatload. Which state has the most highly rated high school football recruits? Do you know? California. And they all leave. They're all leaving. They're going to the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Georgias, whatever it may be. California has the high school football recruits. USC's got them right there. You got them right there. You just need to get that program back going. Private school, no budget constraints. You're not worried about, you just kind of a state line item there at LSU. I know they have a lot of money, but still a state, still a state scenario. And USC can do a lot of things. A lot of things. A lot of great recruits right in their backyard. Listener text coming in. I'm of the opinion neither LSU or USC are the teams of the future. Both teams have unrealistic fans. If you don't win right away, you're going to be fired within 3 years. I don't know about that. I think LSU and USC are both top tier, and I'm going to say top 10. I'm going to say just from a perspective, which programs can win at a high level based on their budget, facilities, the whole thing, investment, fan base. I think USC and LSU are still top 10. I would put USC just a little more potential without having to get grinded out by Georgia, Florida, Alabama, that whole mess down there. One more listener text coming in. What if Nebraska is open as well? Can Nebraska compete with the other two for coaches? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I don't say it sarcastically, but USC, LSU, top 10 positions. Nebraska's not in there. Facilities aren't really good. That's going to be improved. So they're getting up to speed there. Unbelievable fan base. We know that. So dollars-wise, they're in good shape. The Big Ten, they're in really good shape there. Can you win in the Big Ten West? You should be able to. So Nebraska is not like a bad job, by the way, folks. It's not a bad job. It's not USC or LSU. I mean, Nebraska, we thought, hit a home run with Scott Frost. We thought that. I really believed that at the time. And we'll see. The jury's still out there. Coming right back, I'm going to get into our question of the day. I've got another one for you. I've got another question of the day for you. It's an interesting one. Hang tight. But first, a Rapid City Rush update. The Rush opened the season last weekend here at home. They're 1-1, the debut of head coach Scott Byrd. What did he think of his guys? And big news for the Rush today. They lose one of their starters today. We'll discuss it with the head coach next.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports.
Renewal by Anderson. The time is now. Winter is coming, beautiful but brutal. You don't have to live through another winter with drafty windows and high heating bills. At Renewal by Anderson, we have great financing options with approved credit right now. Our certified full-time installers are the best in the industry, not subcontractors. We're a 5-star energy partner. Renewal by Anderson windows can significantly cut your heating bills. Put that blanket away this winter. Let's talk about your windows today. Renewal by Anderson. Winter is coming. The time is now.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory continues until 11 p.m. tonight. Scattered rain showers likely tonight, otherwise cloudy. Lows dip down to about 39, northwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 57. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Mainly clear skies and quiet again. Tomorrow night, lows level off around 39. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 47.
Get fuel for fall and huge savings during the Certified Used Vehicle Sales Event at Denny Menholt Toyota. 1.99% APR financing available on certified Toyota Camrys and RAV4s. Plus, 100 gallons of gas for your new ride. That's fuel for fall and low financing on all certified Toyota RAV4s and Camrys. The right cars, the right price, the right experience. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City. With approved credit through Toyota Financial Services. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection, and brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
It's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
Hey, welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live here on Fox Sports Rapid City. You can catch us on the radio. Maybe that's what you're doing on your drive at 5 right now on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Welcome in on the radio side. Also, get us on your phone on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. You can watch live there on Twitter. Easy to do. Bring us up. Follow us at Nate Brown Show live in studio camera. Welcome you in on YouTube as well. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube on the digital side. A lot of ways to access the program live, 4 to 6. Weekdays here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Also, the podcast, if you can't catch us live, the podcast will be up tonight, as it always is. The Nate Brown Show podcast. Download it where you get your podcast. Here he is, Scott Burt's in. We've been talking Rapid City Rush hockey. He made his debut at home last weekend. The Rush go 1-1. They go 1-1. Tight one on Saturday. Couldn't quite pull it off. Some good hockey to open the season. And Scott Burt's the head coach of the Rush. They go on the road this weekend now, out to Idaho. Coach, it's good to have you. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me again.
Well, you told me last week, I don't know what to expect. That's what you told me. I don't know what to expect. What did you think of the opening weekend? You win one, you lose one. Tight game Saturday, couldn't quite get the win, but what was your takeaway?
Yeah, you know what? I thought at the end of the day, our guys played hard both nights. I thought there was some uncharacteristic mistakes that were made, obviously, on the Saturday. Guys had to learn and will learn how to manage a game, when to, when not to. But overall, I was a little bit bitter about the Saturday, but the Friday kind of got me up a little bit, and then today and yesterday we had some good practices getting ready for up in Boise.
Okay, so what was the best hockey thing you saw on the weekend, hockey-wise?
Probably the compete. I liked the compete of our team. I liked our power play. I thought our power play was kicking at times. Our penalty kill was excellent. We didn't really give Tulsa much of a look on our goaltending. I thought our goaltending was great. David Tendick had to bail us out a few times there. I thought our guys maybe got a little bit too antsy at times. And again, I was happy and pleased with the outcome on Friday, the compete Saturday. Again, there's some learning stuff that we have to clean up, but I thought it was an okay weekend.
Scott Byrd in, Rapid City Rush head coach on the Nate Brown Show. They're 1-1. You just mentioned him, so I'm going to throw that out. David Tendick, your goalie, had a good weekend, I thought, and now he gets pulled up to Tucson. So how do you make this work? I know I think you signed quite a few goalies, but you lose your starter right away.
We lose our starting goalie right off the hop, but that's how it is when you have an affiliation with Arizona and Tucson, and players that are under contracts. They could be here for the weekend. They might be gone. There's a few injuries that happened in last night's game in Arizona. So we take the brunt of it. Tucson takes the brunt, and we take the brunt as well. So, I had 4 goalies coming into camp. I actually had 5 at camp. We released 1. And, there was an opportunity or there was something that was going to go on that we might have released another one. But you were always aware of certain situations that could happen at any time. Thankfully, we do have 3 goalies. We will rotate 3 goalies for now until we get Tendy back, if Tendy does come back. But we always have to be aware that something at any time, player could get called up or that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure where we're at with that, but we will adjust and we will have a game plan that suits our team.
Rush starting goalie David Tendick gets called up. That's good, by the way, but it's tough for Rush. For the Rush, David Tendick goes to Tucson. You said we got 3 guys. We're going to rotate them. Does that mean you just play the hot hand?
Well, I'm going to start. I have an idea who I'm going to start on Friday night, and we'll see what happens after that.
Let me ask you. You go back to Idaho. You have some history there. What's that going to be like?
I think it's going to be, I don't want to say emotional. I went back as a player. I won a championship there and then left the next year and then came back with another team. So I've been there. I've been back. I've been back as a coach. Now I'm actually coming back as an opponent's coach. So I do have a lot of friends there. There's a lot of people there that I really do keep in contact with. And, it's going to be emotional just because of my time spent there. I played there for 7 and I was coaching there for 2. So I spent a majority of my pro career there. So at the end of the day, I'm coming back with Rapid City. My goal, my job is to get the most out of the players that we have, and we'll put a good performance in the best we can.
You want to kind of prove something there, don't you? Hey, this is Scott Byrd, head coach now. I'm going to beat you guys.
Heck yeah, I do. I'm not going there just to play nice, that's for sure.
That's what I think. You want to show up here a little bit. The Rush going out to Idaho face the Steelheads. Coach Scott Byrd on Rapid City Rush head coach, and as he gets set for the road trip. Road trip-wise, how are some of these guys going to deal with it? Are some of these guys used to this?
Yeah, most guys are. You got to think when young players, doesn't matter if you're a rookie or whatnot, they've grown up through junior hockey, major junior, college, wherever it is, they've played on the road before. I do have 2 players that played in Idaho, so I think there's something special with those guys too, and I think everybody in our team understands and they understand the demand that I want out of our players each and every game, each and every day at practice. I think they know a little bit more this weekend means a lot.
Rapid City Rush first road trip. They go out to Idaho this weekend. Scott Byrd on tonight, Rapid City Rush head coach. The Rush 1-1 after the home debut. Coach, good luck to you. Have a good week.
Nate, I appreciate it. Thanks. I'll look forward to chatting with you next week.
All right. Appreciate the time. Good luck to the Rush. Scott Byrd, good to have him. We'll get him Tuesdays here on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Rush Review here on the Nate Brown Show with head coach Scott Byrd. 1-1. I thought it was a nice weekend. Nice weekend. Home opener win on Friday. A dicey one Saturday. Could have went either way. And now they go face the Idaho Steelheads, where he played 7 years, coached, assistant coach 2. Scott Byrd going back now as head coach of the Rush this weekend. All right, into the drive at 5 on a Tuesday. I've got your attention here, don't I? Do I have your attention? Here's something that I want to ask you, okay? Here's something I want to ask you. There was a 9% jump in kids that are not interested in playing sports of any kind. A 9% jump in 1 year, okay? So I'm going to go over some of these numbers that just came out from Utah State and their parent survey. Okay, this just came out, and they looked at it. In 1 year, there were kids playing sports, and now 9% more say they don't want to play sports. 9% more. We'll tell you what the total number is, and what do you think of this? This one jumps out. If your family has a lot of money, are you playing sports? If your family doesn't have a lot of money, are you playing sports? I'm going to break some things down and ask the question of the day next.
Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
True taco lovers can't say Tuesday without thinking taco, especially at the home of Taco Tuesday, Taco John's. So this taco, head to Tuesday John's for Taco Tuesday, or maybe it's Tuesday Taco. Either way, there's deals on delicious beef Tuesdays or tacos happening all day. Tuesdays.
And this Taco Tuesday, celebrate your favorite day of the week at Taco John's with 99-cent beef taco deals.
Count on First Gold Gaming Resort for the biggest giveaways in Deadwood. Every Friday through Sunday, win your share of $8,600 in promo play through hot seat drawings. Every Saturday night, it's First Gold's Lucky Sevens giveaway, where you can win $1,000 cash at the top of every hour from 6 p.m. till midnight. Get in on First Gold's $2,000 slot tournaments on Friday and Sunday, or win a 43-inch Sony Smart TV every Sunday night at 6 p.m. First Gold Gaming Resort, where your first stop on Main Street as you're coming into Deadwood.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Banking at any time, any place, for anyone. That's what Highmark Credit Union is all about. Born in Rapid City 80 years ago, they're proud to bring a full range of consumer products and commercial lending services to thousands of area members. If you're looking for a place to bank where you're just not an account number, Highmark is the answer. Learn more at highmarkfcu.com or stop by any of their branches for more about better banking. Highmark Credit Union. We'll make it happen.
Someone will come in, they'll have a noise under the hood. We'll go out and take a look at it. We can determine by the type of noise, and usually if we can determine where it's coming from, we can direct them to the piece that has failed. My name is Dick Lemke. Working at Sturtevant's as long as I have, it's definitely become my career. When you need someone to help solve the problem, start with a Sturtevant's store near you.
STURTEVANTS, come and see Sturtevant's. Has it Sturtevant's?
At Renewal by Anderson, we love it when our customers tell us on a brutal winter day, we can't believe how much warmer this house is since we got our new windows. These windows are awesome. We hear it all the time. Winter is coming, and as beautiful as winter is in our part of the world, having drafty windows, cold rooms, and always needing that blanket on the couch is no fun. Renewal by Anderson makes the best windows you can get. We've been 5-star energy partners for years. Our new windows can significantly lower your energy bills, especially on a brutal winter night when the wind is howling. Renewal by Anderson windows not only increase your comfort, they increase the value of your home. This winter, put that blanket away. Renewal by Anderson has great financing options with approved credit right now. For less than your cable or phone bill each month, you can have all new windows from Renewal by Anderson. Please visit our website now at rbarapidcity.com to hear about our financing options and book your in-home consultation now. And put that blanket away this winter with Renewal by Anderson.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for being a part of the show. Hope you're having a good night. We'll try and make it count for you, spending some time with us on Fox Sports Rapid City. Let's get you some good stuff. Eric Eager on the way, Pro Football Focus, PFF, NFL analyst. Okay, I got a couple of messages here on the Chiefs. A couple of messages on the Barons-Wilson text line. Nate, will the Chiefs make the playoffs? Here's another one. 720-1067 on the Barons-Wilson text line. Nate, the Chiefs will not make the playoffs. So these are two different text messages here. One, will the Chiefs make the playoffs? Okay, let me answer that for you. And then I already got another one from a different guy. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs. All right, I'm going to get into that. Come on, let's not be crazy. Let's not be crazy, everybody. Craig Maddox on the way. South Dakota Public Broadcasting live from Sioux Falls, our East River meets West River segment of the week. Craig Maddox on tap. So the Drive at 5 brought to you by Summit Automotive Group, summitautogrp.com. And the Drive at 5, here's something that's jumped out to me. There's this study from Utah State. They survey parents. They've done it over the last few years, Utah State, and they partner with Aspen Sports Institute. So they ask parents, what do your kids play sports? What do they play? And they break down the data like unbelievable. I mean, there is so much data here. So I try and look through this whole thing, and I try and find some of the stuff that's really interesting to me. And here's something that jumped out. The COVID year, there were some states that just bagged sports, right? I mean, they just bagged it and the whole thing. And so now I'm kind of looking at, okay, did some of this impact kids playing sports now in 2021? I believe it has, and maybe there's other things going on there too. I think that's probably right. But let's say you didn't. It happens to us in life. Some of my friends changed their habits in 2020 with the COVID mess, and they started doing this, hiking or whatever. Okay, that's an example. Hiking. Another buddy did photography. He's going to do photography. Kind of got an interest in that. Never did that before. Kind of opened up his deal. Well, I'm going to go out and about, and I'm going to do this because the whole life is upside down of my routine and what I used to do. I believe that's happened with kids in sports. If you didn't play sports in 2020, so to speak, or if you were limited, let's say you were limited, you still kind of played it. It was a little clunky. Oh, this isn't good. Whatever. You didn't like it. Did you come back this next year? Here it is. There was 19% of kids who didn't have an interest in playing sports in 2020. 19% of kids in this parent survey, just a blanket overall, 19% of kids say, I didn't have an interest in playing sports in 2020. That's jumped in 2021 to 28%. So now today, this is as of the fall, 2021, 28% of kids don't have an interest anymore in playing sports. Don't have an interest. 28% of kids don't have an interest in playing sports. And so I ask you, does that number seem high to you? Is that man, that's a high number, Nate. 28% of kids, no interest in playing sports. Does that seem high, or is that about what you expected? Question of the day. I want to go take a look at this. 47% of the audience today, check it in on the Nate Brown Show question of the day. 47% of the folks say that number, 28% of kids not playing sports, that's way too high. That's a high number. 47% of you say that's a high number. 53% say, well, it's about what I expected. Listener answer here. It's the digital consumption, Nate. Digital consumption. It used to be we didn't have all these options. I'm surprised that number's not higher, actually. And that's kind of where I sit on it, frankly. I'm sitting here looking around and I'm going, if you're telling me 28% of kids don't have an interest in sports, I think that's okay. I mean, it's, like I said, less than 1 out of 3. And so not every kid's going to be playing sports, and not every kid's going to be athletic or interested in it. The difference is, folks, were they interested in it before? Has there been a drop-off there? That's the difference. That's the data. That's what I want to know. Did I play sports? Now I don't. Is there something going on there when it comes to the youth sports, or whatever you want to call it, culture, opportunity? Does it take money? The whole thing. Here's what else jumps out. Do you think families that make 6 figures are playing sports? Or do you think families below 6 figures are playing sports? The highest percentage of kids that have lost interest in sports, are families over $100,000 a year. That's right out of the study from Utah State. 36% of kids in families with over $100,000 a year say they've lost interest in playing sports. Now, you tell me why that happens. That kind of goes against the grain. Everybody says it's costing all this money. You've got to have all this money. You've got to have, and all the families that have all the money, those are the kids that are playing sports. I do believe that to a certain point. They're getting the training. They're getting the opportunities. They're paying for this. They're paying for that. But I make, if I'm a family and you make over $100,000, that's the highest percentage of kids that are not playing sports now. They've lost interest. So what are they doing? Buying stocks? They Robinhood? What's going on? Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
I've got a theory for you. So the kids that are poorer, that come from lower income households, like sports is the thing that they can do after school. Like it's a thing, and they weren't able to do it during COVID, and they can't wait to get back to it. So they're still interested. The rich kids during COVID, maybe their family was like, "Hey, let's take a vacation. School's closed. You can learn on the road. We'll go do other things." And they're like, "Hey, like I don't have to be here for 3 months playing sports. We can go on a vacation."
Interesting. I think there's probably some anecdotal evidence like that. I think there probably is, like traveling, going and doing this, and then
there's more time to do all the other fun stuff if you can afford it.
No, that's interesting. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thanks for getting in. I wonder about that. That kind of just jumped out to me. Household income. The kids that have more money in their family have lost interest in sports. And maybe there's just, well, mom and dad will just let them do whatever, maybe. Well, you want to do this, you want to do, what do you want to do? I want to sit here and not do anything. Okay. I don't know. It seems that's an interesting one. What's the highest percentage age of kids that have bowed out of sports? 6 to 10 years old. Yeah, so you're wondering, okay, the young kids, they're playing. Is it too intense and then they bag it, or is that just natural? Some kids find out, I kind of thought it was cool playing t-ball. Now I'm not so good, and it's not so cool, so I'm out. 6 to 10 years old, the highest age of kids losing interest in sports. Interesting numbers coming out. Overall, 28% not interested in sports, kids today in fall of 2021. Coming back with Eric Eager. He's live next. NFL analyst, Pro Football Focus. Okay, I'll answer the question. I got a couple in here. Will the Chiefs make the playoffs? I've got my answer. It's an easy answer. It's next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Have you hit a pothole or curb with your car? Does your vehicle need an adjustment or have an alignment, shock, or strut issue? Black Hills Tire is your one-stop shop for complete automotive service and repair in the Black Hills area. Trust your vehicle with no one else but Black Hills Tire. Contact Weston, Denise, and the guys at Black Hills Tire, where honesty, reliability, and safety is their top priority. Black Hills Tire voted the #1 shop for automotive repair and brake repair and tire store in the Black Hills. Ask about their free pickup and delivery. Black Hills Tire. Check them out online at blackhillstire.com.
At Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Renewal by Andersen. The time is now. Winter is coming, beautiful but brutal. You don't have to live through another winter with drafty windows and high heating bills. At Renewal by Andersen, we have great financing options with approved credit right now. Our certified full-time installers are the best in the industry, not subcontractors. We're a 5-star energy partner. Renewal by Andersen windows can significantly cut your heating bills. Put that blanket away this winter. Let's talk about your windows today. Renewal by Andersen. Winter is coming. The time is now.
Wants you to know that now may be the best time to refinance, purchase, or even build a brand new home. With rates this low, Black Hills Community Bank is well positioned to be your local partner. They are your home loans bank with local originators, underwriting, processing, and closings. They challenge themselves to close every loan on time. This may be the time to think about home ownership or refinancing with Black Hills Community Bank in Rapid City and Spearfish. Online at bhcbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Retirement may seem far off, but the sooner you start a fund, the more dough you'll have when it's time. And while the future of Social Security may be a little iffy, the security of a career with Country Hearth is a recipe for success. Country Hearth is a third-generation, family-owned bakery that's been around for over 100 years. Along with great pay and benefits, there's a lot of opportunity to grow and rise within the company. With openings in production, maintenance, shipping, delivery, and sanitation, you're sure to find a career that fits your skills and schedule. Find out more and apply today at countryhearthjobs.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City, your sports, your show. Question of the day, 28% of kids have lost interest in sports. 28% of kids lost interest in playing sports, a 9% jump from last year. I say the COVID piece has something to do with that. You know, kind of played a little bit, but maybe didn't play a lot. You kind of bailed on some totally, and now you're like, yeah, I'm out. 9% jump in 1 year of kids not having an interest in playing sports. And that the more money you have in your family, according to the study, the less interest you have in sports. The richer families, their kids aren't playing sports. Listener text coming in. Nate, sports has always been viewed by the poor as a way out and maybe transform your family. That's where you're going to see the poor kids in professional, or that's why you're more often to see poor kids in professional sports. It's interesting. I think the more money some families have, the more opportunity there is to play sports. I mean, that's also a factor here. So I was surprised to see that. The more money a family has, the less interest kids have in playing sports, at least in 2021 here. We'll see where that goes. Eric Eager's on tonight. Let's talk NFL. PFF.com, Pro Football Focus, PFF.com, NFL analyst. Find him on Twitter at PFF_Eric. He's back on the Nate Brown Show. Eric, how are you?
Nate, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. So I've got a couple of questions that have come in on the text line here to me. So I'll ask you those questions, and I'm going to answer it first. They say, will the Chiefs make the playoffs? They asked me, okay, will the Chiefs make the playoffs? And then one guy said, Nate, the Chiefs won't make the playoffs. He answered it for me. I'm going to tell you, Eric, they're going to make the playoffs, but you're the data guy. You tell me.
Yeah, the betting markets, if you look at like DraftKings and FanDuel, they're at -200 to make the playoffs, which is about 63% break even or so. Our numbers make it about 46%. I know some other forecasting companies have it about the same. So I guess if you split the difference on those, it's probably lean yes, but it's not nearly as big of a lock as it was, let's say, going into the season.
Where did this all happen, Eric? You guys break down the numbers, and Patrick Mahomes has been so efficient, and now he's just gone the other way. What's the real story on Mahomes and this decline here?
Well, I think a lot of it is just one game. I mean, they were leading the league at one point this season in percentage of drives that ended in points. They've had some turnovers, but a lot of that's been bad luck. Only 46% of plays charted as turnover-worthy plays by Mahomes in 2018 through 2020 were actually intercepted, and this year it's been 100%. So they've gotten a little bit unlucky with the ball bounces. This past week against Tennessee, though, it was the first time they really looked out of sorts. Their offensive line could not protect. Harold Landry had a great game, probably a contract extension-worthy game in that game. And that really did affect them, and it'll be interesting to see how they rebound. But I think their offense is, sort of more than good enough, but their defense doesn't give them a chance when they can't get stops in the first half of games. So where it all happened, I think a lot of it, is just a team-building thing where they've really struggled to sort of get key players at important spots, and that's really trickled down to, the O-line, the defense, even some of the weapons after Hill and Kelsey, not impressive.
This is Eric Eager, PFF.com, talking NFL, talking the Chiefs. So I'm going to take the Chiefs for the playoffs. I believe that's the call. I really do. I'm not saying Mahomes has lost his touch, and I know the Chiefs' defense really struggles, but I'm going to take the Chiefs to the playoffs. Let's go to the NFC. I'm going to ask you about the Vikings. Sunday night matchup, Halloween night, the Cowboys. The Vikings enter a tough stretch on this schedule now. Are the Vikings a playoff team? They're sitting 500, just barely.
Yeah, we make it 43%. The market has them at plus 155 or plus 150, depending on where you look. So, that's a little bit, that's in like the 30s range as far as, a little high 30s. So, interestingly, though, like they're the most likely of the teams that are the 7th spot or below. But they're still less than 500. So that means you look at teams like Chicago, you look at teams like Atlanta, some of those other teams. Like last season, Chicago had a 6-game losing streak in the middle of the year and still came back and made the playoffs. So a lot can happen. And as you said, they have a really tough schedule coming up. Dallas this week at home, they're 2.5-point underdogs in that game. Probably will close at 3-point underdogs. Then they have, the Ravens, the Chargers on the road, and then they have Green Bay at home. They could very easily lose all those games. But given the way that Kirk Cousins is playing, they could very easily split those games, and then their schedule gets easier down the stretch. They have the tough part for them is obviously looking back and saying, the first few weeks of the year were really the easier weeks, and dropping games, to Cleveland, and that 1-score game, Cincinnati an overtime game, and then Arizona a missed field goal at the end. They could really be in a strong position right now. But at the same time, they also, really helped. They got lucky, I think, against Carolina. They got very lucky against Detroit. It could be either way. I think coming out of the first 6 games, 500 is probably, ultimately, if they don't make the playoffs, going to be viewed as the reason why.
Eric Eager on talking Vikings. You said in 43% chance at PFF to make the playoffs. You said the Chiefs are in that same category, basically. So the Chiefs and Vikings, same close percentage of making the playoffs.
Yeah, very much. And it's times are weird, man. And I think a lot of it is in the AFC right now. We give the Chiefs the 8th highest percentage of making the playoffs. Meaning there are a lot of in the NFC there are like 4 teams that we make, 4 or 5 teams. I can't remember the exact number that we have at 90% or more. And then it's the Saints and the Vikings and teams like that kind of falling off. In the AFC, I mean, you have a lot of strong teams. The Chargers, the Browns, the Bengals, the Buffalo Bills, the Tennessee Titans. Then the Raiders,
Ravens.
And also And so the Chiefs are the 8th highest percentage to make the playoffs. So somebody's going to need to be knocked off. They don't control their own destiny in a weird way. They do, but not as clearly. The Vikings are the 7th most likely team to make the playoffs in the NFC. They control their own destiny. The issue is it's just really hard for them. Their projected win total is 8.4, and 8.4 wins will probably make the NFC. It won't make the AFC.
Eric Eager on PFF.com, NFL analyst. How do you rank these NFC teams? Buccaneers, Rams, Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals are 7-0. I mean, people are going, man, they are for real. So what do you guys say?
Well, I think it's weird because you ordered them in the way I would order them, even though if you look at the head-to-head, it's like obviously, the Cardinals beat the Rams who beat the Bucs, so that's not necessarily, but I think if you looked at it, I think the Bucs would be favored on a neutral field against the Rams, and I think the Rams would be favored again on a neutral field against the Cardinals. So that's kind of how I would view it.
Interesting. So you're going Buccaneers, Rams, Cardinals. That's interesting. On the AFC side, one more. I'll let you run. Eric Eager on PFF.com. On the AFC side, who's in control over there?
That's a good question. I think Buffalo has the easiest schedule moving forward, so I think they have the biggest path to the 1 seed. The Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals both have difficult schedules moving forward, so they might fall down a little bit. Tennessee has looked impressive, but they're also a team that's lost to the Jets, so anything's possible with them. So those would be the teams I think in control. I think the Chargers are a little bit overrated, and obviously Kansas City isn't as strong as they normally are.
All right. I said one more, but I got to get a Broncos question. Teddy Bridgewater has declined in a big way the last 3 weeks. Should the Broncos think about making a change there? What does it hurt to try out Drew Lock?
I don't think it does. The only issue is, for Denver, you made this decision to be a defense-first team around a caretaker quarterback. That's sort of how Fangio wanted it, and I think moving on from that, situation would be an admission. And if you're Fangio, you're kind of coaching for your job at this point. So I don't think they do. But, it can't hurt. I don't think Bridgewater is the problem there, but he was never going to be part of the solution.
Eric Eager, PFF.com. We got him tonight on Twitter at PFF_Eric. Always great, man. Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for having me on, Nate. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Have a great night. Eric Eager on tonight, NFL analyst, PFF.com, on Twitter at PFF_Eric. That's the Pro Football Focus guys. And that whole team, I like PFF, man. They break down every single thing, every which way. And what was the headline out of that segment? The Vikings have the same percentage chance as the Chiefs of making the playoffs? Playoffs? Am I going to do a Jim Mora here? Playoffs. That should get you Vikings fans excited. Or does it just depress you Chiefs fans? So I'm here to tell you. Listener text coming in, 720-1067. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs. I'm going to go back to that listener text and say, you are incorrect, sir. You are incorrect. This is from a Broncos fan. You do not doubt Mahomes and the Chiefs. You just can't doubt them. You can't throw them out. I mean, Colin Cowherd's on Fox Sports Rapid City here this week already saying Mahomes is a bum and, he's just struggling and it's just off the charts and they're just going to be who they are. The Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. The Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to go on the Super Bowl run. Now, I picked that at the beginning of the year. Let's go back to what I picked. Super Bowl matchup. I said Chiefs-Rams. I don't feel great about the Chiefs, let me just say. But if they get into the playoffs, you think you'd like to have Patrick Mahomes and the experience over the last couple of years? That's not too bad. Not too bad. Chiefs are going to get there. They're going to get there. Vikings, I little more worried about. PFF.com, they're smarter than me. The analytics guys, they're smarter than me. They say Vikings have the same percentage chance to make the playoffs as the Chiefs. Uplifting Vikings fans since 2017, the Nate Brown Show. Coming right back with Craig Maddock from Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. East River meets West River, our segment on the way.
The Nate Brown Show.
Renewal by Anderson. The time is now. Winter is coming, beautiful but brutal. You don't have to live through another winter with drafty windows and high heating bills. At Renewal by Anderson, we have great financing options with approved credit right now. Our certified full-time installers are the best in the industry, not subcontractors. We're a 5-star energy partner. Renewal by Anderson windows can significantly cut your heating bills. Put that blanket away this winter. Let's talk about your windows today. Renewal by Anderson. Winter is coming. The time is now.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well maintained tire and speed shop, over the top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
If you're planning to keep on driving your current vehicle with higher miles on it, drive with confidence after a thorough inspection at Pro Auto Care. Regular service and preventative maintenance is extra important for higher mileage vehicles, so bring yours on into Pro Auto Care to keep it running longer for you. At Pro Auto Care, Tom and his crew pledge to give you an honest evaluation and never over-service or overcharge. From inspections to oil changes, brakes, tires, and major automotive service, trust Pro Auto Care. Open as usual at 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
Hello, Dish Nation. We have really big news. Dish now has your local channels in HD and free voice remote. That's right, locals in HD with free voice remote. If you're tired of paying too much for too little TV that just doesn't fit the bill, call Wire Free USA at 343-3806 today and experience an expert who's happy to answer all your questions, whatever they may be. In these days of fast-paced lives and fast-talking salespeople, it's nice to know you can still count on your local Dish authorized retailer, Wire Free USA, at 605-343-3806 with folks right here in our neighborhood to tell you the honest truth. Dish offers a better value for the very same channels for your home, business, and mobile. Dish and Wire Free USA have what you need at a reasonable price, along with your HD locals and free voice remote included in the same price. The future is Wire Free USA with Dish. 343-3806.
Voice remote requires internet-connected hopper. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. Remember, the Nate Brown Show podcast is out there. We upload it each night. Producer of the Nate Brown Show, Matt Kearney's on that. Listen to the podcast if you can't listen live to the whole thing. I mean, that's a tough go. I mean, 2 hours live, you wouldn't get anything done. No, we try and take care of it. So we got the podcast. You can listen when you can at your own convenience. All the interviews are put up there when they appear, the whole thing. The Nate Brown Show podcast available. FoxSportsRapidCity.com. You can find it there in the archives or where you download your podcast. We're out there. Craig Maddox in tonight. East River meets West River in our weekly segment. South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Getting set for some football championships here. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. He's live from Sioux Falls tonight. Craig, how are you?
I'm doing great. Always enjoy, by the way, the podcast of Nate Brown. It's always good. I mean, I can't catch you all the time.
No.
I'm a busy guy. So I appreciate it that at any time what I'm doing, I can take a break and listen to your podcast.
Yes, anytime,
just like
anywhere.
Just like people can listen to my podcast
yes.
in play.
Yes.
With South Dakota Public Broadcasting. And I had a great conversation. The latest podcast is with Chris Dummermuth, one of the top all-time tennis players and coaches. In fact, it was so fun. It was interesting where she goes to Utah State for 1 year to play college tennis and decides to go transfer to Augie, where they didn't have women's tennis, so she just joined the men's team. Great story about that. So catch that story. And then in November, 2 very special in-plays coming up the week of the football championships and the volleyball titles.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thanks for letting me plug that. Do we have any time left to talk?
Just a little bit. You know, you plug my podcast and then you plug yours. We're all done. Thanks for playing. Let me ask you about this. This just came out in a study. 28% of kids say they've lost interest in playing sports. Okay? So last year it was 19%. And I said, okay, COVID's gonna wreak havoc on stuff. And so a 9% jump in 1 year. This is now fall 2021. The data just came in. 28% of kids say they don't have an interest in playing sports. Do you think that number is high or kind of what you'd expect?
So you're thinking about 3 in 10. And I would like to see if there is a trend over a 5-year period, not just maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years. I would love to see it over a 5-year period because things can change. But 3 out of 10, I could see that. I could see that.
I can too. I can too.
That doesn't seem to be a very high number because let's face it, my kids, they tried various sports and they didn't like something, and so they did something else. I think other kids kind of experiment with sports. Maybe mom and dad want them to play baseball, especially dad. Dad thinks they can play baseball where they should probably be in the library instead. So, I mean, that happens. But that number would not really surprise me.
Not a huge number. I said, okay, I'm not going to hit the panic button. I don't like the 9% jump in 1 year, but I do think COVID has hit kids. If they stop playing sports, well, maybe they didn't pick it back up.
Maybe they had to. Maybe they had to as well. Maybe they couldn't join due to other circumstances. So again, I'd like to see a 5-year average rather than maybe a 1 or 2 year spread.
Let me ask you about this. Same data. If I told you kids from families that make 6 figures a year, that's the highest percentage of kids that don't have an interest in sports. They make 6 figures a year, their family, and they don't have an interest in sports. That's the biggest number out of that bunch. What's going on?
That's interesting. I really don't have an answer on that.
It's a tough one for me. I thought if you had money, well, you get opportunity and you play in this travel team and that travel team. I do think that does happen, but this is saying, hey, the more money you have, the least interest in sports.
Yeah, and who knows? Yeah, that's a great one. What was the figure on that again? How many? What was the percentage?
36%. 36%.
Oh, okay, well, still, about 3 in 10. Yeah, but of course, you and I, we'd have no idea what that means.
That's right. I come from meat and potatoes, man. I mean, maybe a little rice, okay? Maybe a little rice.
I used my sister's soccer equipment when she was done, so that's how that works.
Yes, I believe that. Let me jump into South Dakota sports. I want to ask you about this. James Madison getting invited to jump from FCS to FBS. Now, James Madison, good football program. We know all about that. Is there going to be a time here in the near future, North Dakota State, and then the trickle down South Dakota State? Are we going to have to keep our ear to the ground there?
Yeah, I'm not so sure South Dakota State. I don't know. North Dakota State, they want to. I've known for years. They think, and they are, the much better program, and they believe that they could play a step up. Whether it's the Mountain West, it's not going to be the Big Ten. Come on, people up in Fargo, stop
come on,
it. But
come on.
If it's going to be a conference, it's going to be some conference to the west. And it happens where we see the dominoes fall, where a team will leave a conference, and then they'll get nervous and think, well, we need to go find another team, find one in our region. North Dakota State could, because they're willing. No doubt. They are willing to go if that opportunity comes. As far as South Dakota State, I'm not so sure yet on that one.
That's interesting. I just wonder if the dominoes start falling, do they accelerate that plan? Do they accelerate it? It takes a lot. It takes a lot. Let me ask you about high school sports. One question is, the cross-country meet, the state meet, the cross-country meet was just held out in Sioux Falls. I didn't think you guys had hills.
Very successful, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have one, and it's right between the beginning and the end of the cross country.
Okay, I was wondering.
It was a beautiful day. A ton of people were there. It was a great atmosphere, and I saw some tweets and Facebook messages talking about should it be in one location every year?
Yes, that's my question.
That one there, I would have no problem them rotating that. That's fine. The Hills, Hart Ranch, I mean, they do a beautiful job. I would have no problem with them switching it around. You don't want to...
The premise is, Craig, do we want hills for a cross-country state meet? The whole argument is, do you want a cross-country race, or do you want to just run on a soccer field? I mean, that's the question.
You're talking to a guy. I have run 5 half marathons.
Wow.
I have run the Sioux Falls half, and I've run the Deadwood, the Mickelson Trail.
Okay.
Which the Mickelson Trail is basically the half is basically downhill. The rest of the way, there's a couple spots where there's a gradual increase. The Sioux Falls one had a lot more steeper hills because they were in some of the hillier parts of Sioux Falls.
Oh.
To me, it doesn't make a difference if it's hilly or not. I mean, you go to a golf course for golf titles. Do they have enough? Do they have enough hills? Do they have enough sand traps? I don't think that really makes a difference. I think the atmosphere is where it's at, and I think Hart Ranch does a great job. And they should go from Sioux Falls to Rapid every other year.
Okay, Craig Maddock, he makes it official. And on the cross-country piece, last one, Harrisburg football. They're undefeated. They play Rapid City Stevens Thursday out in Harrisburg.
Oh, boy.
How good is Harrisburg? Are they going to be at the Dome? Is Craig Maddock going to be calling their game?
I will be at the Dome along with Curtis Riggs. We'll have the championship games in the 11-man division.
That's Harrisburg? Is it Harrisburg?
Harrisburg had really hard games against the Sioux Falls schools. Now, Jefferson has lost their quarterback. That team that's going to be tough to advance. Watch for O'Gorman Roosevelt. That is the big game this week because those two teams playing real well. Brandon Valley, kind of had their lunch fed to them. I think they'll still be competitive. I think Harrisburg, and again, I can't predict winners since I'm calling the game, but I'm going to tell you that if Harrisburg doesn't make any mistakes like they did against Brandon Valley, they are really, really hard to beat. But they had the tough contest with O'Gorman and Roosevelt and Washington and Jefferson.
Yes, I saw that.
You're
leaning Harrisburg. That's as close to an endorsement as you're going to get from Craig Maddock.
They're really good.
All right.
They can score at any time. They got a great quarterback. They got some good receivers. Their defense was awesome against Brandon Valley. If they play like that, it's going to be tough to beat them.
Craig Maddock, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The podcast is in play, live from Sioux Falls. Find him on Twitter at Craig Maddock. East River meets West River once again. Craig, always great. Thanks a lot.
See you, Nate.
All right, thanks a lot. Craig Maddock on tonight, and he makes it official. You have to rotate the state cross-country meet from Rapid City to Sioux Falls. No, you don't. By the way, we could have state wrestling out here every year. Anybody want to jump on that with me again? Do I need to start that up again? State wrestling out here. You want to talk about atmosphere? That was one of the better atmospheres I've seen. The state wrestling meet out here, all-class wrestling, that's one of the best atmospheres in high school sports. I think our atmosphere is really good. Our wrestling fan base here is really strong. Really strong. We'll take it easy. Let's take it easy. It's only October. Okay, we don't need to get into the state tournament, state event, have it in one place yet. But there was a little mention of state cross country going out to Sioux Falls, and what are we doing? We're running through cornrows? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, everybody. Take it easy. Coming right back with who's hot and who's not. How did it look at Deadwood for September sports betting? The numbers are out today on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City in the Black Hills, if you're shopping for a new vehicle, before you buy, stop by Gateway, one of our 2 locations, 123 Omaha or 410 North Campbell. We specialize in credit rebuilder programs. We specialize in finding you the rarest cars in the market. We specialize in the funnest car buying experience. If you have good credit, bad credit, no problem. We specialize in people.
Gateway Autoplex with one of the largest inventories in the Black Hills. I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody
beats a Gateway deal.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we owe a debt of gratitude to our Swedish friends for bringing the buffet to America in 1939. Unfortunately, they called it the smorgasbord, which is, let's just say, a unique word. But we liked the idea so much, we started our own buffet and loaded it up with pizza, chicken, sides, salads, and our one-of-a-kind cactus bread. And then we made it even better by letting you request the pizza you want on the buffet every time you visit. We call it Buffet Your Way, because smorgasbord your way, well, that doesn't rhyme at all. Pizza Ranch. Mmm.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, let's wrap it up on a Tuesday. Busy show tonight. We talk World Series. We talk college football, Rapid City Rush, NFL, high school. Your sports, your show. We got you covered. On the Nate Brown Show, who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch every night at this time. It's dinner time at the Pizza Ranch. If you haven't made it yet, you want to plan for tomorrow. Kids night at the buffet. One child 12 and under eats free for every regular priced adult. Wednesday nights, kids night, the Pizza Ranch buffet. Open until 8, 11 to 8 daily. Tomorrow is the day, Wednesday, kids night. Who's hot category? I'm going to go to the numbers in Deadwood. We've been partnering with BetMGM. Tin Lizzy and Cadillac Jacks just launched it last month, and the numbers are in. The NFL wins out on sports wagering in Deadwood, a total of $277,000, just over that, $277,014 wagered on NFL games in September to start sports betting in Deadwood. So the NFL hit just over $277,000. College football came in second, not a surprise, $131,348. So we're talking twice as much on NFL. You cut that in half for college football, and that's how the numbers look for sports betting in the first month. A total of $443,365. How much did Deadwood win? How much did Deadwood win? On you? Not on me. On you? Just over $70,000 in the month of September, just from the sports betting winnings from the casino. I hope you won your share. I hope you won your share. Let's take a look at our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category. I just got to put James Franklin in here, Penn State head coach. Now, here's the scenario. He has a press conference today. They're playing Ohio State. It's a massive game. I mean a massive game. James Franklin, rumored to be interested and rumored to be talked to about the USC job. And they kept asking him, okay, are you focused here? Is it a distraction? Is this coaching carousel? Are you going to go to USC? Is it a distraction? What did James Franklin say 3 times? What did he say 3 times? He is focused. They have this upcoming game against Ohio State. He said 3 times today he is focused on Illinois. We're going to play Illinois really tough. I'm 100% focused here on Illinois. Not a joke. Find the press conference yourself. James, you better wake up. I don't know what's going on. Penn State, what's gonna look like the rest of the way for that team? They got Ohio State coming up, a juggernaut. Coming back tomorrow on the Nate Brown Show. We'll have some fun. I'll see you back here on Fox Sports Rapid City at 4. And the